All right. Welcome, everybody. We are doing the Azure CloudShell. This is just going to be a quick primer. This is the 25-minute sessions. So this is our quick lightning demo, kind of go, 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 go. So thank you for the sponsors. Good obligatory. Who I am, my name is Phil Bossman. I am a PowerShell enthusiast. I run the Research Triangle PowerShell user group and also a Microsoft MVP. And if you see me hiking in the morning, that's me. So what we're going to talk about, we're going to quickly talk about what is CloudShell, how to use CloudShell, how to actually run it locally, and then actually you can roll your own shell. So we can talk about some of the things that you get free with CloudShell, but then also things that are issues that you kind of have to deal with from there. All right, CloudShell is effectively just a VM running in the cloud that you get automatically. So you connect to an appliance and it's going to connect to some storage, but it's always in the cloud as well, right? So anything you're putting there just stays there. It's persistent storage. It's going to put some stuff. We're going to see some of that a little bit. But effectively, this is, hey, I want to get myself a terminal that's just hosted by Azure, right? Hosted by Microsoft in the cloud. And so it allows you to do that kind of stuff. Actually, sorry, I have no idea how fast I need to go. I'm going to just do from there. All right. So how do you access CloudShell? So when you log into the portal, you see the little PowerShell icon, you get the shell icon, you're going to get prompted. Or what's even easier is to actually just go to shell.azure.com. And let's go from there. Let me just shell. How about shell? She's going to kill me here. Come on, Smalls. Who are we going to use? We're going to use, we'll use him. So it's going to log in. Hopefully it doesn't prompt me for MFA. Good. Hey, we're good. All right. Oh, this is go. So if you haven't logged into the first time, right, and it needs to create your profile at this point. So it doesn't know, hey, are you going to be Bash or PowerShell? But we are PowerShell. So this is what we want to do. So it kind of talked before is that it's going to put an Azure quick little VM up there, just a Linux VM. Do you want it to be non-persistent? Just, hey, connect to me and go from there? Or do I need to hold on to some data? So if you don't typically need that, hey, where are we going to go? We can just put it here, and there's no storage at all. Anything that you put inside of here, it's going to throw away. So well, why would that be beneficial? And why am I using the shell in the cloud anyway? It doesn't really matter. So it doesn't matter. It does matter, because what you get for free is that it just authenticated me to Azure and all that kind of stuff. So it uses implicit authentication. So now, like, who am I and all that kind of stuff, this is my account. So get AZ resource group. Source group, right? Go get me all the resources. Everything's here. So if I'm going to get my, this is then using that account to whatever account I logged in. I need to go kick key vaults. I need to do other stuff. It's all here. There's no logins and everything. It uses the identity of the existing machine. So if you typically do, connect AZ account, and then it's identity effectively. It's just using identity. And it is also Linux too. So be aware, I'm mainly a Windows guy. And so some of the keystrokes are kind of crazy because it's just PS readline is using the Linux key bindings for that. So that was one of those things. Where else are we going? All right. So what you get free is if you do persistent storage. Actually, let's do that. Let's do persistent storage. We're going to switch. We're going to use this guy. Similarly, we're going to actually create a storage account at that point. But I think this guy is using persistent storage. Yep, he already created it. So we went to persistent storage at that point. You know what, we're going to come back to this user. We're going to reset his thing, and then we're going to launch it again. But one thing you can do is, hey, I need to actually mount some storage. Where do you need to, because it's using storage and it is a viable product at this point, you still need to actually, give it a subscription. So this is a billable thing, right? So you just pay for storage. Storage is cheap, overall storage. So you can just select the existing storage if you have one, or hey, there's a storage account that you want to use. You could come here, hey, where do you want to put it? What resource group at that point? Or previously, just let Microsoft create it for you. And you kind of saw, we're going to come over to this guy. Sorry, I'm flumping all over. I'm trying to talk about a bunch of stuff before we go. Right? It creates a resource group called CloudShell storage, and then whatever resource group from there. And it gives you each one for each person. So it creates this unique ID. It's bicep at that point. It's using the bicep injections of a random string. So one belongs to one user, one belongs to another user, right? And so if you are using this persistent storage, so this guy's going to log in, and he reconnected back to this particular storage account. But the reason I say that with the storage account is this idea is that this is the mounted point. So if you come here in files, and you know what, we're going to put some files up here. Something small. Just throw something up there. Upload. Hey, we just uploaded some stuff. And actually, I forgot which one's which. This is 43, so that's probably this guy. Nope. Cloud Drive. Hey, look at that file. So you can upload and download files. You can upload scripts. It's just connecting to storage, right? It's connecting to the storage account. So all the processes that you do existing that interface with storage accounts and moving files around is similar. But in that same vein, if you start putting things up here, putting scripts, putting other credentials at that point, anybody who has access to the storage accounts themselves can, see that. So be aware of identity and access controls from that perspective. So this, as we see, is all in the cloud. We're just doing it in the cloud. This is all in the browser. This is where we live at this point. But the whole point is that, hey, you can run this locally, right? And so the next step is run it locally. Well, we're just going to use the exact same processes and use those clouds. But we've all been in this mode at this point, using the screen, is using Windows Terminal. And if you have it here, you can have this, hey. So now without actually using the browser, I can simply click on the Azure CloudShell and, hey, I've already logged in. Actually, we're going to say no. Create a new account. So using device login, how do we want to connect to that guy? So we're going to come back to him, and we'll do device login. Paste. Oh, shoot. We're going to actually log him in. Yeah, we'll choose this guy. So he's going to log in, and he's going to authenticate. Do you want to say for yes, we're going to overwrite the existing tenant 0 from there. Yes, right? And so this is doing the exact same thing. It's connecting to that VM that's in the cloud and now running it locally. So what we just saw, there's that same file. It's just now we're using Windows Terminal itself. So we don't need to use the actual browser. We can just use Windows Terminal locally, right? And what does this give me? So we still have the ability to CloudShell, and we still have the browser at that point. What else do we have? VS Code. Yeah, we could do that. I was getting there too. All right, we got VS Code. We have a new terminal. Hey, look what we find out. So once you connect to using this module, you get to connect. You can now use the similar and just do the whole thing in VS Code. Right? And I already done this before, so it's actually going to connect, and I'm not sure which terminal is going to connect to. We'll see who we're going to connect to. When you connect to CloudShell, it will live into its eternity, except there's a 20-minute timeout. It will terminate itself, after 20 minutes of inactivity. So if you're not actually using it, it recycles itself, right? So it is not a terminal that you can just put there and just let it run indefinitely. But if you use it indefinitely, it will work that way. Oh, what the heck is that? My terminal's all messed up. It must be there. Let's see what this guy. I don't know what's up with him. Why is this keyboard all messed up? Let's try that for that. Doesn't matter at this point. So we are going to right? So running it locally, if you run locally, no time limit, local resources, you can access local resources, and you have to authenticate directly. And then bring your own. Well, this is the actual CloudShell itself. So it is nothing more than just a VM container in Azure itself. So they maintain that instance. They keep it up to date. And so they inject all the relevant tools into it. So the latest AZ modules, the latest components, it's all there. But it's just a Docker container. They're the ones running this, but you can just do that yourself. And Docker is here. We're going to come here. And actually, we don't need this anymore. We're going to actually come here. So I've cloned the repository. So this is the repository. We cloned it at this point, right? There is a build script here. So actually, we'll just do the whole thing. It will just going to rebuild the whole instance. It will build it automatically and using the name tools.cloudshell. But we're not going to keep that whole thing. Well, this guy's running. He's rebuilding from scratch. Docker. There's no reason why you couldn't do the exact same thing, right? And so it comes in two pieces. Cloud container. Yep. It comes in two containers, right? So all the basic, it's using this base model. So they change this once every 3 months. And so what is built from there, and then as they keep refreshing the tools, it's put in there. But you could then roll your own, and so now you don't have to worry about that. And the documentation is here to really build it from there, but we're actually going to show it as well. And so I'm going to build my cloud shell from the other one. He's going to go from there. And I'm basing it based upon my tools, right? Oh, this is the my tools one, right? So the example before is it's building from the existing tools in the Linux repository. This one, right? So it uses the base Docker file, and then the tools is based upon this guy. Well, you could just as well, and what I've done at this point, really quickly, he should have already been here. It should have just been, hey, it's already here. But using that same base, create my own tool Docker file, and that's what was in VS Code. What the heck? Right. So it's just a standard Docker file, right? There's nothing truly special about it, and you can add your own stuff to it. And so then I can use their existing Docker instance, right? And then build upon it. And hopefully this guy's done by now. Should have been done. But you know what? We're just not going to worry about that. So how would you do it? Right? He's going to rebuild, but I'm just going to use the existing one. Right? So I already rebuilt it, with the power of cooking. Hey, we can build it from there. So now what do I have at this point? So still connect AZ account, but I don't have identity anymore, right? I need to now use device authentication, and we already showed how that works. So does everybody use device authentication? This is like my go-to for everything and anything, right? Especially because our environment is using our A accounts for other things. So our A accounts are what actually has access to all these places. And so, device login. We'll log in as admin. Let's log admin. Right? So now he connects and everything that he can connect to, right? So at this point, now I can then mount a different stuff because it's local. I can then just Docker containers locally. So I can mount local volumes. I can access my local scripts. I can do all that directly without actually reaching out to the cloud, and I'm no longer tethered to the cloud. And I can keep in sync with what is up in the cloud, but I can now add that. And I still have the ability to connect to my environment, get AZ resource group, and he should see more. Yeah. So he sees from there, gets a bunch of the Azure labs and CloudShells from there. So you still have the ability to roll your own Docker shells, your own cloud shells, but CloudShell gives you the ability to manage those resources just in the cloud, and you don't have to bring your own. So I don't have to be on my machine with all my local tooling. I can use CloudShell and keep those scripts up there and keep it in container storage into, storage account, file storage, and it is done there. So I don't have to pull that around. But if I keep it local, then I can also do the same thing, but I now need to transport myself around. I can then containerize my deployments and go from there. And that is, what else do I have in my little slide deck? Bring your own, and then questions. So I tried to give you the high-level idea of what CloudShell is and all that it can offer, and go from there. And I think I'm 2 minutes ahead. Thank you very much. All right. You guys use CloudShell often? It's like your go-to? No? Yeah? I like it because it just automatically connects me to the environment, right? And so as you just saw, in my environment at home or on my work computer. And what I also love is terminal itself. And so, hey, I live inside this terminal, right? And then I have one for Windows Shell. And then here I am with CloudShell, and it tells me that I'm in CloudShell, right? And so it automatically connects me. I just say 0, and it logs me in, and now I'm here, right? And so it's exactly where I want to be. Go get me all my subscriptions, go get me all the pieces, and it connects from there. So it's just really simple at that stage. So this guy doesn't have multiple subscriptions. Hold on. I'm going to do it. Show that really quick. So new. Device login, paste. Phil Bossman does. Tell me all the subscriptions that I connect to. It's a standard, tenant login, right? And so choose the accounts that you want to connect to. You got to get 50 of them. You have to choose from. Well, it will remember, hey, which is your desired tenant at this point, and do you want to stay with that one and go from there? So it's not going to, give you anything beyond what is going to go from there. There is with a function of the AZ module just in connection is to set your default, but that's what you're going to get there. But if you have 85 subscriptions, you're not going to get anything new from this. And I don't know if you can do anything crazy with having this load the other one versus another one. And so, have a specific terminal that will, you might be able to put a different, this is my admin one, this is that subscription. You might be able to put that in there. But I think that's a function of terminal itself, is to actually have it, because I think you can add more of these. You can add as many as you need, and it's just a JSON file to create. It'd be interesting. I think you probably could. I think you can, right?
Yeah, you can create a JSON file or a UI settings.
Yeah, so you just add another one. So I can put another CloudShell that has other arguments at that point and just go from there. Mm-hmm.
So when they were showing this last time, I asked that same question. I can't remember the date I talked to.
Yeah.
Might have changed
I know that Damien was working on board, but it's just a matter of, you know, enumerating at that point. And typically you're going to have some that you're going to want to, you know, keep, as opposed to just randomly choose any one of 350. That's just not a viable solution, right? So, yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.